What's good, everyone? Back at it. Another night on the grind. I have about an hour to do this, so let's get started. Representing Dawson Digital Art School. It's for the youth, baby. It's for the youth. Okay. So let's go ahead and start working on the fun stuff, right? So pretty much what I'm doing is renaming a lot of things in here. Yep. This is the Alita Battle Angel rollerblades that I created in the last tutorial. Now I have to take all this stuff here and rename it. Yeah, real fun, real fun. So grab your bag of popcorn. I'm in it for the long haul. Like I said, I'm just renaming some things. I already went up in here and renamed this stuff. There's a whole group. So pretty much what I'm doing right now, like I said, is just renaming things. Everything is broken up into groups. It's kind of the things that people really don't like to do. See, gotta go in here, rename this bad boy to left front, hydraulic arm, and that's the that's going to be the prefix of all of these parts. Yeah, renaming things makes your life easier. It makes everyone that's part of your team's life easier. Just allow yourself to navigate through your scene so much effortlessly. And also when it comes to texturing, you know, just creating layers and groups. So when you go into like Substance Painter and you can just make like I think they're called, oh god, what's the name of it? ID maps. So ID maps are pretty much like a blend. There's a certain color value, and that color value is assigned to groups of things. So like this guy, I would probably have a color map, ID map one here, because it's going to represent maybe the same color, an ID map one on, you know, on these things. So yeah, life is easier. Everything in here I renamed it to left front. LF stands for left front. Geo. Okay, so I've got these two guys already renamed. So what I had before was a nightmare. All of these individual pieces. And so I was like, forget that. And just combine all of these guys because they're going to be the same texture. Renamed it. Turn that into a group. Right? So that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do here. Except without all of the hassle. I'm going to delete all of that. All of this. But deselect these guys. Delete that. Take this group. Freeze the transformations. Duplicate it. Change the scale X to -1. And there we go. And I'll freeze those transformations. Okay, so now this is going to be considered left rear. So name that to LR, left rear hydraulic arm. And everyone's naming convention is a little bit different. Some will call it Geo. Like I have it Geo here for geometry, but I didn't list everything as Geo. Got a little bit lazy. I just copy and paste. Now there's a way to go in here and change the hierarchy for a lot of things. But this is, I don't know. I think that although this is a little bit more labor intensive, I haven't found a method to just pinpoint a certain like naming convention or hierarchy in the groups. So therefore, I kind of do it manually like this. And yes, this might be painstaking, but not having anything labeled is more brain damage than anything else. You see, that didn't take very long at all. It's just one of those things that looks like it's going to take forever. Alright, so hydraulic arms. Got those three. Last but not least, a nice save. So I'm just going to call this outliner underscore cleaning underscore 01. So this well, actually coming up next week, guys, I have a Comic-Con convention, where I'll have a booth. It'll be my first time not attending one, but actually setting up shop. And not only will I have a booth, an event space, but I'll be one of the guest speakers. I am super pumped. I'm working on my speech day and night, and all of this content that you see is going directly to my students on my online school. So if you are interested, you are under the age of 18. Again, that's just a niche. There are lots of programs that accept, young adults, 18 and up, but nothing for really for this age group, this age bracket. And kind of like kung fu, the Asian culture starts them off young. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Start these kids learning this stuff real young, this age. You know, you and my age. Alright, so this is right rear. So yeah, this is the rear of the Dawsonator. So this is right rear. So what I'm going to do is, again, go kind of like scoot in here. And copy that prefix. Here we go. What happened to my music? Again, I'm listening to the YouTube's royalty free, so I don't run into any sort of copyright issues. I guess there's been a whole lot shaken up in the YouTube world. I don't really keep up too much with it, but I just heard that a lot of people are losing. Whoa. That's like, in fact, there's two different audios going on here. Wait a second. I can't have that happening. That's gonna mess up everything. Okay. Yeah, that's and my mouse does not want to go to my split screen. Here we go. Yeah, that was crazy. So I have all the hydraulic arms. And then I think, you know, I'm not going to put the wires inside of the hydraulic arms. I'm gonna group the hydraulics to this little, I'm gonna call it the engine. I'm gonna call it engine. ENGINE underscore C, which means center, underscore GO. Oh, do I have something else called? Oh, okay. I have something else called engine C. So let's call this engine C plate, center plate. Okay. And I have all these other supports that I renamed earlier. And you could take a look at that right here in my outliner. See, engine, support, plate, geo. So all of these guys, I'll just go ahead and press Control G to put them, modify center pivot. Just hold Shift. And we're going to rename this to engine underscore let's just call that engine underscore geo. No, not geo. Shape. Alright. And then I'll just start grouping wires. So these wires, I'll just call it upper RR. So Dawsonator wire front fitting. See, I already named these guys earlier, so I could front hose fitting, left rear, right rear. Okay, so it's called hose fittings. It's called large hoses. Large. All right. Engine underscore large. Let's call it big. big hoses. It just sounds bad. I'm sorry, bad joke. Large hose. Oh man. That's exactly what they are. Large pipes. Let's call it large pipes. Okay. So now that I have these guys, modify center pivot. Here we go. Engine large pipes. And then I'll just start to rename these guys. So I know that this is, call it wire 1, 2, and 3. Just kind of go left to right. So I'll rename it to engine underscore. So I'm renaming it in my channel box editor. Engine underscore wire 1. This would be a lot. Alright, this is going to be so much easier to rename it, and I'll tell you why. Because when I double click Control C and I go to this guy, I'll press Control V and it renames it to number 2. So yeah, number 3. And then this is I don't know what group that belongs to, but let's like 1, 2, 3. I'll press Control G, turn that into a group. And then the manipulator tool is off, the center pivot is off, so modify center pivot. Okay. Let's see. Now what seems to be off is there we go. Alright, let's just rename this bad boy to engine underscore. I think this is right front RF underscore right front underscore wires. Yeah, right front wires. And now I can click on these guys and go to engine wire. See, engine wire 3. And where is this little dude? He's in here. No, okay. See, it didn't change it because it's part of like a subgroup. So this is a main group. These are subgroups within group 72. So it didn't change the name of it. So I actually want to change it to engine wire 4. I go to that one. 5, 6. And I call that one right front, so I just Command C. And then I'll rename this guy to left front wires. And what is that group over here? Whoop. Excuse me. Excuse me. So that's going to be Command C. Let's start off with you. And this should be wire 7. Wire 8. What, 6? Alright. Actually, I want you to be 6. I won't change it. I just spell it wrong. Call you 7. kind of want it to be like in nice order. Wire 6. There we go. And if I want to change it, I'll use middle mouse button and like drag it up like that. Okay. Wire 8. And this is, where are we at? Left rear. Left rear wires. Good time to save. Okay. Now, I do want to apologize for being a little bit of a they call it clickbait with the whole Alita thing, but I feel like it is part of that series because in a few minutes I will be working my way down to the Alita Battle Angel rollerblade and renaming things in there as well, because that's what we started the live series off with. So this is the Alita Battle Angel rollerblade that I modeled from still images from the trailer, and I'm thinking about making this almost like a old crusty looking, maybe metal or like chipped plastic. I don't know. It's still in the air. Let's not get sidetracked because this right here is a bit of a headache. 4, 5, 6. Oh, look at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, this should be 9. Eight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said that, right? Okay. You should have told me, man. You should have told me. 9. This is 10. 11. 12. And that group is right rear wires. Okay. That needs to be deleted. That's an empty group. This will go in here. I don't need that group. So I always like to delete by type history whenever I start moving groups around. Sometimes things will automatically disappear if there's still history attached to it. So, and I'll call this small wires. Engine underscore small engine ground wires, because I see another group of wires here that these are actually they're hydraulic hoses. All right, cool. So I've got all of these guys, all these. I have my Dawsonator. Let's see here. Arm, hydraulic arm. No, let's not select the hydraulic arm yet. Hydraulic and engine wires. Maybe I'll do another group. Hydraulic underscore and engine wires. engine wires. And then we can select all the hydraulics. Control G on those guys. HY hydraulic underscore shafts. And now I have hydraulic there, large pipes here, and then engine shape. I like the way this is going. Control G. Modify center pivot. Now is a good time to save, and never just save it as the same thing over and over. You can see all the saves I have in here. Just a ridiculous amount. I never want to lose anything, and you should always back up your files. Okay. Now I renamed these guys to hydraulic base, right and left. And then these guys don't have a name, so I will call it upper hydraulic base. Control C. Let's call it C for like center hydraulic base. And then this guy is a flat bed. Okay, so I think it would be appropriate to do so if I were to break things into groups, I think these guys with that. Okay, I didn't even rename it yet. We're going to call this hydraulic underscore group. Hydraulic. Call it hydraulic group. I would just call it hydraulic shapes. Groups. What's a good name for it? It's not G. I guess it is Geo, right? Hydraulic Geo. And then I'll drop these two guys in there. Hydraulic Geo. Booyah. Here we go. Now that's looking good. Nice and organized. And then, what's next? We have this thing, which it's called the hydraulic base. I think I'm gonna call it hydraulic base. Hydraulic base. There's some country music. Nothing against country music, but kind of messing up my flow. Come on. YouTube royalty free. See it? 160 songs. 7 hours. Let's just call this gear bass, right? Dawsonator, flat bass. Let's call this gear bass. Gear, flat bass, and then I'll just rename this to gear center hydraulic bass. Upper hydraulic base. And what is this shape? What do I have here? Okay, that's the wheel right there. It just looks so weird because after watching the movie Alita, which I love, she's rolling like forward this way, left to right, like left, and I'm making this guy roll the opposite way. So that's why it's Alita Battle Angel versus Dawsonator. Okay, that's the wheel. I'll just call that Alita underscore big wheel underscore geo. Let's get back on track. That's that shape, that's that shape. We'll name these guys later. That's okay. Let's move you down here. Middle mouse button, drag. Arm, geo. Let's move these guys up here because I know we'll be working on all that stuff together. Okay. I don't really have a good name for this. We could call it base rotator. Base rotator gear, upper hydraulic gear. What is this one called? Gear flat base. Okay. So I'll just call this gear rotator. Gear rotator underscore geo. Okay. And all of that is connected to the head, and then we have the little gears. So gears. I should call that gear group. Control G. And we'll call it gears underscore geo. Let's drag you up here. Alright, where is this little guy? Because I think this needs to go to the support. Alright. And this is called flat base. We'll call this gear 1. Flat base gear 1. So Command C. Flat base underscore gear 1. And then we'll rename this guy. And it'll rename itself to gear 2. And then this guy we'll call it flat base support. So these three, Control G, and let's see here, flat base. I don't even know what you call this thing, but let's call it. What's a good name, guys? I don't know. I'm kind of get tired of using the word support so often. Clamp. Yep, someone said it right. Somebody said it. Flat base clamp. Do I have any others like that over here? I think I do. Okay, I'm happy I don't. Just make it easy. Alright. Try to make things look as believable as possible. Gears, geo. What was this group? Flat base gear, gear rotator, flat base gear, hydraulic base. This guy. And then gears, geo. Okay, sweet. So I got all of this. And now I'm going to press Control G. Turn that into a group. Modify center pivot. Shazam. So we'll call this gear underscore base support. Okay. And do I have these guys, the hydraulics? Okay. So we have this guy, we have the Dawsonators, arms, right arm. And press F, the frame. It's a little laggy. Try to keep everything as low poly as I can. So I'm going to highlight everything again. edit, delete by type history. And just get rid of a few layers. Left arm head, right arm hydraulic, geo, base, gear, support. We can call this whole part upper body. Control G. Oh. Dawsonator underscore upper body. And then later I could, oh, no will of death, please. Alright, there we go. Still loves me. Alright, so I'm gonna isolate big wheel, that, this, and just begin working on all of this. So you see how smooth it is now? I press Control 1 and now it's like, whoa, it's a little laggy. Control 1, smooth. Alright. But I think that there's a few things that I do want, like these guys. So I'm highlighting all of this, and I want to make sure that I freeze a transformation and delete by type history real quick. And then I'll move these guys down. Now I think it would make more sense to not have this shape like go rounded off into there, although it might look kind of cool. Let's delete a few extra items here. Kind of align it like that. Maybe this shape can go around that. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I probably should rename things before I start modeling, but I just enjoy modeling. So I'm going to double click that. I'll extrude it down. And let's do this. I'm going to extract this. Okay. I think it's still part of that group, the hydraulic geo. So it's just delete by types in history. So it's that shape and that shape. Modify center pivot. And I'll make this flat. Let's make this guy a bit flatter. And let's take this shape. And press 3, it's going to smooth out like that. Just one, double click, I'll press Control E, I'll hold V, snap it there. Okay. And I'm going to move it over so it's sitting right there in the center. And should probably move this guy up like this for what I want to do next. Come on. Insert edge loop. And move it over like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take these faces. I would like to have a little bit more space right here for what I'm going to do next, so scale it down just a little bit. Control E. Bring it out like that. And then I'll take this edge. I'll bring it down like that. And then how about we just add a simple bevel to cap it off. Just change the fraction. Add one segment. I know you thought it was gonna be something crazy profound. Alright, so it looks like that at the bottom only because there are faces down there. So let's highlight this, hold Control to deselect that, and then delete. So now I'm going to press 3. You know what I liked earlier were these little supports that I was kind of like griping about earlier. If I duplicate these guys, move them down, hold V and press F. Let's see. I would really have to get it to fit right there above that edge. And then let's press 1 on this guy. Let's take these faces here, bring it down, take these, push it in like that, press R, scale it flat. Oh, I guess that could be use. There you go. Let's try that. Move it down just a little bit more. And then if I press 3, that kind of like shape, but what we can do is take a few of these edges and use the crease tool clicks it off. Let's try to enter edge loop. It's not as bad. If I have one here, and then duplicate it and move one right there. And just take these vertices, move them over. Can do that. I think that looks good. So it's kind of cool when you have a lot of really unique shapes and they really do like help you out in the long run. Oh, another one bites the dust. Look at that. Alright, let's change the scale Z to negative. And it is almost time to get out of here. Alright, so these clamps right here, gear base, I'm going to take these guys out of that group. And then I'm going to combine these two shapes. Edit, delete by type, history. I'm going to copy that shape. This was under the engine shape. Mesh, combine. Where are you at? There we go. And so I'll delete the history on this. Alright. And then last thing I have to do is actually merge. Edit mesh, merge. Alright, so that thing connects. It's very small, very subtle, but and it's actually like behind, so it's a little cleaner. This is a hydraulic base. It's found under the hydraulic geo. That's the R hydraulic base. So what I'm gonna do is Control C. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Put my center pivot right there. Control D. Change my scale Z to -1. Renamed it. Now I just need to get these little tiny gears. Let's freeze the transformation. Those are the clamps. Control G, modify center pivot, and I'll call it clamps underscore R blade. And I'll put that with the right hydraulics, and I'll take those clamps and I'll duplicate these guys. Scale Z -1. that's going to be Hellblade. If I expand that, flatbed gear clamps, you know, it's fine. Modify center pivot. Oops. That one goes with that one. Modify center pivot. Alright, so we just have to beef up that whole thing. Man, if you guys know anyone that can rig, please let me know. Alright, so this is one whole thing, and I think I'm going to do a part 2 tomorrow on naming all of this stuff, only because I promised my 3-year-old that I would buy him a toy today because he's doing so well. You're like, where you can buy a toy this time at night? Well, Walmart's still open, so I gotta hold true to my word, and I will make this a 2-part tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for sitting through some of the most grueling part of the modeling process, and that's just the naming convention. You could see that my outline is nice and clean. It's almost there. This guy is ready for Dawson Digital Art students. Maybe one more hour, but until then, you guys have a fantastic evening or morning wherever you are, and yeah, I will talk to you soon. Let's go ahead and put this bad boy in the anti-aliasing and a nice it's called ambient occlusion. One more last look, and I'm signing off. Have a great night, and or good morning.